The U.S. Supreme Court struck down President Trump's sweeping tariffs in February 2026 because the justices concluded he did not have the legal authority to impose them unilaterally under the law he relied on. And that authority over tariffs belongs to Congress, not the president. Here's how that works. Under the Constitution, the power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts, and excises, including tariffs on imported goods, is a legislative power that belongs primarily to Congress. When Congress wants to give the president authority to act on trade issues, it does so explicitly in specific statutes that set out limits, conditions, and procedures. President Trump's tariff program was largely justified using the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, IEEPA, a 1977 law that allows the president to regulate international economic activity during declared national emergencies. Trump's administration issued a series of tariff orders on imports from many countries under emergency declarations related to fentanyl trafficking and trade imbalances. But the Supreme Court's majority held that IEEPA does not grant the president the power to impose broad tariffs or tax imports of virtually all goods. The statute's language about regulating importation simply was not enough to justify expansive, long-lasting tariff taxes without clear congressional authorization. In other words, the court said that using IEEPA to rewrite trade policy through tariffs was a dramatic expansion of executive power that Congress never expressly approved. Chief Justice John Roberts, writing for the majority, emphasized that when Congress has delegated tariff power in the past, it has done so very clearly and with specific limits. It did not do that in IEEPA. Simply invoking emergency powers to tax imports of trillions of dollars in goods was beyond what that law was meant to allow, the court concluded. As a result, the court's 6-3 ruling invalidated the tariffs imposed under IEEPA because they were not supported by a statute that clearly authorized the president to do what he did. The decision reaffirmed the constitutional principle that major economic decisions like imposing broad tariffs require either explicit congressional authorization or a law that clearly delegates that specific power. A few of the conservative justices dissented, arguing that a president can impose tariffs to regulate imports under long-standing statutory authority, but the majority disagreed, and that's why the tariffs were struck down. In simple terms, the Supreme Court said tariffs are taxes on imports, and only Congress can authorize them unless a statute clearly delegates that authority. The emergency powers law Trump used didn't do that, so the court invalidated the tariffs as beyond the president's legal authority.